Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I am excited to tell you about my first impressions with the Rainbow Six Siege Alpha. This is a game I have been waiting to play for a long time. The alpha gives you the opportunity to play the hostage rescue game mode on at least 2 maps. I've only played 2 different maps so far. One is this house siege mode, which is very cool, and some of the action that I have pulled off so far is something that I've never been able to do in any other multiplayer shooter. Now check out this clip here for example. I'm going to rappel up. Yes, this is similar to, say, the grappling hook in Battlefield, except that I can actually change my orientation while rappelling. Now that I'm on the roof, I'm going to actually put a line here and rappel down inverted. So when you go down from the roof, you start off inverted. If I hit control, it'll flip me back over. Inverted, I'm going to place a breaching charge on the window and detonate it to give me access into the kitchen area of this house. I can still walk myself left or right, and it puts me in a situation to take out this player inverted from the window. I mean, how freaking badass is that? My teammate is also next to me inverted, shooting through the wall. Now each time you play this game mode, there's a planning phase. You get a little over half a minute to scout out the house with some little recon drones. Now these recon drones can actually be killed by the guys trying to protect the hostage there, but if you locate the hostage, it is now marked on the map and you can plan your attack better. Now sometimes they can take out your drones and you won't locate the hostage, and it makes your assault a little bit trickier. So there's multiple phases to the assault, and they're all kind of like their own level of the game. Now it is the planning phase for the offensive team is the fortification phase for the defensive team, and the defensive team can put up all these sort of window blocks, and they can put up bulletproof fortifications inside of the house and basically try and make the siege that much more difficult for you. Here I'm placing down an explosive charge by the front door, and if I detonate this at the proper time, it'll actually kill anybody trying to break in. Use my heartbeat sensor to try and locate the enemy and detonate it. I get a hit marker, but no kill. The defenders have a lot of tools that make it very difficult for the offensive team to break in. However, somehow it still seems to be fairly evenly balanced. Although you can set up lots of cool barricades as the defenders, the offensive team has the advantage of being able to attack from whatever angle they deem necessary, and they also have the element of surprise. Coordinated attacks can be very confusing. You'll see here I'm trying to use one of the more valuable assets to the defenders, which is the heartbeat monitor. I see a whole bunch of enemies coming in the house this way. I see somebody rappelling up outside this window. I get ready to take him out. I see a shadow through the window. I'm shooting, wondering where he went, and bam, there goes one of the breaching charges, killing me instantly. So the assaulters certainly have a way of making an explosive entry, pun intended. Now the game mode is set up for a 5v5, and there's a whole bunch of different classes you can pick from. If you pick one of these specialty classes, nobody else on your team can pick that class. So the defenders can get somebody who can put up bulletproof shields over windows and stuff like that, and then nobody else can pick that class. You can also have a class that can lay down body armor for the team, and nobody else can pick that class. So it sort of gives you class individuality. Most classes have a few different options with weapons. If you don't like shotguns, there's usually sort of a PDW alternative or an assault rifle alternative. So you usually have a little bit of flexibility with what kind of weapon you want, but the gadgets and stuff are what make you truly unique. Now this game mode does not have a mini-map. You will notice a compass at the lower end of the screen showing me what direction I'm pointing, and then basically a list of my gadgets at the bottom of the UI and showing how much armor and health I have. In the lower right hand corner you'll see my ammo counter, and you'll see that there's quite a bit of ammo there. This might be a little bit too much considering how many walls you can shoot through in this game. It essentially allows you to use bullets as sort of pingers, if you will, to try and locate the enemy. If you don't know where somebody is but you think they're in a room, start shooting through the wall until you get a hit marker. This could be one of the game's caveats in the long run. As it currently stands, there's no damage reduction for shooting through walls. I also don't think it really offsets your accuracy. I think it would be very cool if the damage reduction was halved or even further when firing through walls to basically make it a far less effective way of taking out your opponents. Now the wall destruction is extremely dynamic. If it is a wall that you can destroy with bullets and explosives, then every single bullet you shoot through that wall is going to punch some sort of hole in that wall. If you shoot a whole bunch of bullets into one area, you'll make a bigger hole, and you can use those as murder holes, a small peephole that you can basically see through and shoot through. This is something that usually the enemy team will not be expecting or looking for, and it can be a very, very cheap way to get some kills. Now check out this hole I'm about to make in this wall here. This is going to give me a very, very good line of sight on any anybody who's coming to try and get the hostage. By the time they figure out where they're taking fire from, it's usually too late. Now, I haven't been playing the game long enough to see how this tactic fares on higher levels of gameplay. I imagine once you know a map extremely well, you're going to get a pretty good idea of where people like to make their little murder holes throughout the maps, and perhaps this won't be quite as useful, or you'll just be used to already spraying through some walls anticipating people behind them. But there's clearly going to be multiple levels of play here. The advanced players will know a lot more about map dynamics than the novice players. In fact, that's probably the steepest learning curve of this game, is learning the map dynamics. They're small, they're simple, so at first you think you're learning them, but you really haven't learned them until you've learned all of the destructible walls and all of the entry points. Now let's talk a little bit about gunplay, since that's such an important feature of any first-person shooter. The time to kill seems fairly long overall, which is something that I like. It can be quick if you hit somebody in the head or you got a pump-action shotgun in super close quarters, but you'll see many instances where I'm just spraying the heck out of people. This will also lead to stupid situations like right there, where I'm just strafing back and forth with my opponent, trying to take each other down. It kind of reminds me of old-school Unreal Tournament days. I would much rather have a weapon system that rewarded you for being still when firing, gave you better accuracy, perhaps had a little bit more recoil with each weapon. Right now the guns feel very arcadey, and I think they can take it a bit further. This game has borrowed so much from Counter-Strike already, it wouldn't really hurt if they also borrowed some of the movement weapon mechanics as well, just to add a little bit more skill into the gunplay, because right now it just feels like a spray fest. Now of course the game is alpha, so there's plenty of time to fix these things, but it's not going to prevent me from harping on the game, because we've all seen how AAA shooters have had problems in their alpha releases, and we said, oh, they'll fix it by the time the game actually comes out, and then they never did. Rainbow Six Siege has a long way to go. There's still quite a few things in this game that are less than ideal. The server load times right now can be extremely long. It seems like you're kind of bogged down by whoever has the slowest computer. On top of that, you also have a situation where you'll switch sides on the same map and it has to like reload the whole map over again. They need to optimize this so there doesn't have to be such long load times in between rounds, because this is something that could be a much more fun, much more fast-paced game if you can just do round after round after round. But right now there's sometimes like 3, 4, even 5-minute waits between each game, and these games can last like a minute long if everybody's super aggressive. So it's pretty safe to say that you're probably going to spend more time in the menus right now than you will actually playing the game. Now at the moment mics are also stuck open right now, so that can be really annoying. It does facilitate a lot of communication, which is pretty rare for a PC shooter, but it's quite nice to actually have some cool tactical games with just a bunch of casual people. We're actually communicating, talking about breaching at the right times, and this is something that I have not seen in Battlefield pretty much ever, at least on the PC side of things. One of the biggest things that's going to make or break this game is a matchmaking system. Currently there isn't really one. In fact, you can't even play with friends at the moment. This is something that Ubisoft is trying to fix. I guess it was supposed to be in the alpha, but got broken or something like that. This game does not have a Counter-Strike level matchmaking system with cool stat tracking, pitting you against players of equal skill levels and all of that, then it's probably not going to do very well. This is something where you're going to need to face off against players of equal skill level and have those players on your team as well. Otherwise it's going to be incredibly frustrating. It also needs to have a good punishment system, because there is friendly fire active in this game, and your teammates can kill the hostages, so they can end the game for you instantaneously. So if this game does not have a good punishment system, it's going to be ruined from the start. Now if Ubisoft can actually implement all the features that this game needs and polish up all the rough edges and balance it and make the gunplay a bit better, I think they've got a Counter-Strike killer on their hands. That's just my opinion. I think this game is a blast to play. It's super dynamic and really cool. I'll be making more videos on this game. It's very addictive, and I want to get into more of the nitty-gritty details of the strategy and see how it kind of evolves during the alpha. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.